For years, we've had one single question. Who is Emu? We've guessed everything. An ancient king, a god-tier devil fruit user, the ultimate celestial dragon? Well, we finally have answers, and the truth is more insane than we ever could have imagined. Emu isn't just some monster. All the clues point to Emu being the literal devil of the One Piece world. What does this mean for the final battle? Because if this is true, it changes everything. I need you to forget every single thing you thought you knew about devil fruits, the world government, and the final villain of One Piece. For decades, we've been trying to figure out who Emu is, the secret ruler of the world, sitting on a throne nobody is supposed to sit on. We saw his creepy silhouette, and we saw him erase entire islands from the map. But now, we've finally seen him, and recent spoilers reveal a design that isn't just a monster, it is pure demon. We're talking giant twisted horns, a terrifying dark aura, and powers that literally break the rules of the One Piece universe. This isn't just another character reveal. This is absolute fire. Oda has been planning this for over 20 years, and the payoff is going to be huge. Today, we are breaking down every single clue that proves Emu is a literal devil. We'll look at the insane demonic design. We'll analyze his rule-breaking powers and give you a terrifying new origin for devil fruits. And finally, we'll show you why this fallen angel is the only possible enemy for the legendary sun god, Nika. First, you have to see what was just revealed. Emu is finally out of the shadows, and this design is absolutely crazy. Spoilers describe a tall figure with dark skin, crazy non-human eyes, and the biggest clue? Huge, twisted horns. Oda is not being subtle. This is 100% a devil. This is not some Zoan user. This is the literal personification of evil. Every detail about this design screams demon. He has weird tattoos on his hand and near his eye, but the craziest part is his aura. Emu gives off this insane dark energy, with a black cloud ring floating around his neck, the same ring we see on awakened Zoan users like Lucci, Kaku, and even the Five Elders. This is the sign of unbelievable power. This is a final boss. We've even heard that when he appears, trees and houses grow twisted, laughing faces. How insane is that? And since we know he can bleed, this is a real physical body you can actually hurt. And don't forget what happened at the Reverie. Remember when Emu attacked Sabo? He used a sharp, pointed tail and stabbed him, which should be impossible because Sabo is a Logia user made of fire. That alone proves his power is on another level. The horns, the tail, the dark aura, it all points to one thing. Now, some people are saying his dark skin connects him to the Lunarians. That's an amazing theory, and it makes the devil idea even better. The Lunarians were called gods. So what if Emu is a fallen Lunarian? A god who sinned, was cast out, and became a devil. This is a classic Lucifer story, and it perfectly sets up the ultimate battle of a fallen god versus the real sun god, Nika. A devil is more than just horns and a tail. It's about making deals and corrupting people. So what about Emu's powers? If he is the devil, he probably doesn't have a devil fruit. It's the other way around. He is the devil fruit. Think about it. Emu can turn into a giant shadow beast, has wings, and uses a trident. He absorbed Sabo's fire and went right through his Logia defense. These are not normal devil fruit powers. The biggest theory right now is that devil fruits are just a deal with the devil. You get insane power, but the sea hates you. But what if the real cost is a piece of your soul? And this explains the Five Elders. We've been asking how they've lived for centuries and have these terrifying monster forms. Saint Saturn is a spider demon. Saint Mars is a giant ghost bird. The others are a monster boar, a skeleton horse, and a sandworm. The answer is a pact. Their immortality and powers were given to them by Emu. They are his demonic apostles, given insane power and long life for serving him forever. That's why all their monster forms have the same dark aura as Imu. They made a deal with the devil on the empty throne. This is just like the forbidden fruit, giving power at a terrible cost. What if Imu feeds on people's dreams to create these cursed fruits, which just spread chaos and suffering forever? That would make Imu a true parasite, feeding on the soul of the world to stay immortal. Right, but what if we're still missing something even bigger? What if the thing we're seeing right now isn't even Imu's real body? Because there's another insane theory that fits perfectly with everything we've just talked about. The name Saint Nerona Imu has already been confirmed as one of the original 20 founders of the world government, which means Imu has been around for over 800 years. And in One Piece, there is only one way that's possible: the perennial youth surgery of the Ope Ope no Mi. So what if Imu isn't just immortal? What if he's been switching bodies this entire time? That would explain everything. Why his form feels so unnatural. Why his presence feels more like a force than a person. Why he looks like something that doesn't fully belong in the world of the living. And it gets even crazier. Some theories suggest that Imu doesn't even have a true body anymore. That what we're seeing is just a vessel, a possessed form, an incarnation, which would make Imu not just a ruler, but something much closer to a parasitic entity feeding on the world itself. And yes, there are even wild theories connecting him to Nico Robin's family, based on subtle similarities in facial structure. Now that might sound crazy, but in a story where history is erased, identities are hidden, and even death can be cheated, can we really rule anything out? So, if Imu is the literal devil, who could possibly beat him? The answer has been right in front of us the entire time. The only thing that can beat a devil is a god. Not the fake gods like the celestial dragons, but a real one, the sun god, Nika. This is the final battle One Piece has been building to for 800 years. It's the ultimate fight of light versus darkness, freedom versus control, joy versus suffering. Luffy is Nika, the warrior who brings total freedom and joy. His power literally comes from the hopes of slaves who wished for a liberator. He brings smiles to people's faces and frees entire countries. Imu is the exact opposite of Nika. Nika is the warrior of liberation, and Imu is the ultimate oppressor, erasing history to keep everyone under his control. He destroyed Ohara just because they wanted to learn the truth. Where Luffy's power comes from joy, Imu's seems to come from feeding on souls and dreams. And here is the absolute craziest twist. The world government, which is secretly run by the devil, calls anyone who wants freedom a devil themselves. The scholars of Ohara were called devils. Monkey D. Dragon is called a devil. And of course, everyone with the initial D, like Luffy, is called the natural enemy of the gods. The real devil has been sitting on the throne, pointing the finger at everyone else. My mind is blown. The final fight between Luffy and Imu won't just be a battle of fists. It's going to be a spiritual exorcism for the entire world. So when you put it all together, the evidence is overwhelming. Imu's design is a literal demon. His powers are the source of the devil fruit curse, and he is the perfect and only enemy for the sun god, Nika. This changes the stakes of the final war completely. This isn't just about overthrowing a government anymore. This is a spiritual battle for the soul of the One Piece world. It's about breaking an 800-year-old curse from a literal devil so the sun can finally rise on a new day. But what do you think? Is Imu the literal devil of the One Piece world? Is he the source of all devil fruits? Let me know everything you're thinking in the comments right now. If you are as hyped as I am for the end of One Piece, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe for more insane videos about the greatest story ever told.